Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I can see this is a lively crowd just based on the number of coffee containers along the front of the road. I'd like to challenge you to get to know the people in this room through the breakouts today, through the weekend, because the people that end up at events like this are special. And if you think about it, it is 10:30 on Saturday morning. Most people are still in bed, or they're just waking up. They're tired because they probably just worked 50 hours last week in a crummy job they don't like, working and helping someone else get rich. They're feeling guilty because they have no time with their kids. They never see their spouse. They're worried about how they're going to pay their bills and haven't even a clue yet of how they're going to have enough money for retirement. And that today, unfortunately, is the state of the average American. But you guys aren't average. You have invested the time to be here and the money to be here. In talking with you, some of you outside, I know some of you have traveled a long way to be here. And what I really respect about you is that you don't just want to have a better life, you guys are doing something about it. So please give yourself a hand for having the commitment to be here today. Imagine if you will, and this is the goal of what we're going to do today, if you left today and you could book twice the number of appointments without working any harder. How cool would that be? What if on your opt-in pages you were suddenly get twice the number of hits without having to drive any more traffic? How cool would that be? What if you're selling products, and I don't know what your average sale is, $250, $500, $1,000, who knows? But whatever it is, suddenly double it and imagine how much more money you'll make in a month. And when you're recruiting people, if you're recruiting 2-3 people a month in your business, what if you're suddenly recruiting 6? And what if everybody on your team started to learn how to do this too? Because I don't know about you, but I like making a lot of money without having to work hard. So would that be a great goal today if in working with these skills, everyone could leave and know how to instantly boost your income without necessarily having to work any other hours? Would that be cool? Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we're going to learn. And I call this the magic words to selling and sponsoring because they really are magic words. When you nail this, you'll see the difference in how people respond to you automatically. You'll see the expression in their face, or you'll hear it on the phone, or you'll notice it in your click-through rate instantly. And if this is brand new to some of you today, I encourage you to go home and master this skill. If this is not new to you, I challenge you to take it to the next level because I think you'll agree, anyone in here who's making a lot of money online, the multi-six-figure millionaire earners, they have nailed this skill and they'll be the first to admit it. So keep that kind of intention and let's get to work. Okay, first of all, let's look at some of the classic mistakes we all make, right? And what I noticed, this is the mistake I made, this is the mistake a lot of my clients make, is when we're in front of our prospects, we tend to talk about the products in the business. And if you've got great products, it's easy to get caught up in the science, right? Some of you have got phenomenal products that have bionic ingredients. How many of you have bionic ingredients in your product? Come on, admit it. Right? And it's easy to get caught up in that and start talking about those details. Or if your company comp plan is kind of unique, maybe you have a super duper breakaway plan that pays down 12 levels, we can get caught up in explaining that to people and sharing a lot of the details, right? But what happens when we do that is we tend to almost speak another language, and especially if you're using jargon, without knowing it, you can be throwing out jargon and words that mean a lot to you and your company, but to the prospect in front of you, it doesn't mean a thing. It's almost like speaking Chinese. And unless you're Raymond, no one's going to get it. All right. Is Raymond in the room? So unfortunately, what happens is most people just don't get it. It's like it's information, it's features. And in some way it makes sense, but they're not really connecting what it means to them. And if there's one thing I'd love for you to learn and remember today when you leave, it's like unconsciously every single person is walking around and looking for something that can benefit them. It's almost like we have antenna on the top of our head, and whenever we're about to make a decision, we're asking ourselves, what's in it for me? What's this going to do for me? What would this mean to me? And so if you want to be really effective in influencing people, you want to keep that in the very forefront of your mind. Because ultimately what you want to do is talk about what your products and business can do for people. You guys agree? Right? And do not overemphasize this. You can spend 80, 90% of your time talking about the benefits, maybe 5 to 10% of the time actually sharing information and details, and you'll find that people respond to you even more. And I loved what Ray said yesterday when he was talking about the why. You know, ultimately, the question I'd love for you all to be asking yourself when you are about to meet with someone or before you connect with someone on Facebook is ask yourself, why would this person buy my product? Why would this person join my business? You know, are they a stay-at-home mom who needs some extra cash? Are they someone who's working in a job and might be getting laid off? You know, do they have an issue that I can help them with? Do they need to lose weight? Do they want to look great, feel great, have more energy? Because if you can at least assume or understand or imagine what that person's motivation would be, you are halfway there. We're always solving problems. You've heard that a lot today. And ultimately, when you sit in front of someone, or even if you connect with them online, you're constantly looking for the problem and offering this solution. And we're always, always focusing on benefits and results. So instead of talking about the details in your product, obviously you want to be talking about the end result. My product can help you have younger looking skin. My product can help you lose weight, look great, have more energy, sleep better at night. Think about the end result that person will gain by using your product and emphasize that. Same with your business. My business can help you save money on your taxes, make money while you sleep, not have to worry about being laid off from your company, set you up early for early retirement, spend more time with your kids. That's the reason people are joining your team. It's the end result that they're after, the experience and the benefits of what your business can actually provide. So I love this saying, sell the destination, not the airplane. I don't know about you, but never have I called up a travel agent and booked a trip somewhere and had any clue or desire to know what kind of airplane I was flying on. So keep that in mind. Most people do not necessarily need to know, want to know, or certainly need to know right away all the details about your product and the business. What they want to know is what it can do for them. Okay, classic boo-boo number 2. Even though some of you may be doing this, you're already focusing on benefits or results, we can also fall in this trap of becoming a little trite with them and ending up sounding like an advertisement. To me, they almost sound a little bit too boring. So you may find yourself writing online or speaking to someone and saying, yes, my product can help you lose weight. You can look younger. You can have more energy. These are good, but if you really want to grab people's attention, this is especially true online, you have to fire it up. Because ultimately, when people buy your products and your business, they're not even buying the product or the business. They're not even buying the benefit. What they really want is how it makes them feel. We are all completely motivated by our feelings. Most of our decisions, 80% I would say, are made by our feeling nature, and then we back up those decisions with logic. So if you really want to grab people's attention online, on the phone, when you're speaking to them in person, you want to focus in and describe the feelings or the experience that people will have by using your product or joining your team. So instead of my product can help you lose weight, basic benefit, right? What if you were to describe a picture that would be appealing? You could feel excited about the summer that's coming because you're going to be in such great shape. You'll feel totally confident and sexy hanging out in your bikini. Or maybe you're talking to someone who's about to go back to their school reunion. You know, imagine what it's going to feel like when you walk in there and you look 10 years younger than everybody else. How great is that going to feel? That's what my product can do for you. Same with your business. You know, my business can help you make more money. That's a little trite, right? What if we painted a picture that was more appealing? My business can help you sleep better at night and feel a lot more secure knowing that you're going to have enough money to retire. Or maybe you're speaking to a mom. You know, my business can help you be able to stay home with your kids, make great money, and no longer have to feel guilty because you're missing out on most of their childhood. And the more specific and relevant you can make these phrases and these messages, the more powerful they'll be. And consider that when you're speaking to someone, you're painting pictures. You're creating images and painting pictures of the experiences that people ultimately want. And the more skillful you are at that, the more powerful your impact. The last thing I want to talk about is really taking this to the last level, which is customizing your message. The other classic mistake that I see people make, sometimes I've seen this online, sometimes I hear it in person, but you may be talking about benefits, you might even be talking about feelings, but your messages are still too generic. And using the same kind of sales message or same kind of sponsoring message for everybody that you meet is not going to be as effective as if you can customize that message. So what would that look like? Let's say you're talking to someone on the phone, or perhaps you've met with them through Facebook and you're chit-chatting back and forth, and they say, well, what do you do? And you say, well, my business helps people make money and have more free time. It's not bad, right? But what if you happen to be speaking to a corporate exec and you could customize that message just a little bit more? Well, it's funny you should ask, Dawn. My business helps stressed out corporate execs just like you get out of the rat race, make a six-figure income, working part-time from home. How many would agree the second message would be just a little bit more compelling, right? What if you're talking to a stay-at-home mom? What kind of message would you use with her? You know, my business can help moms like you no longer have to feel terrible every morning when you drop off your kids in daycare, because you can now stay home, be able to attend the soccer games, be there for those moments that mean so much, and actually make a great living in the process. Can you see how customizing your message for that person and stressing those benefits is going to be a lot more powerful than using the same message over and over again, right? It would be like if I was out in the gathering area there, and we bumped into each other, and you said, Sonia, what is it that you do? And I said, well, I help business owners make more sales. It'd be okay, right? But knowing who's here and what's important to you, what if I said something like, well, I happen to help network marketers build a team of hungry and driven leaders so you can earn gangster money, spend your days sipping Mai Tais on a desert island. Would that be a little more compelling? Get the message across? Or let's say we bump into each other and you're talking to me and you're like, well, I hear you're doing this breakout later. What's the breakout about? I could say, well, I have this cool breakout session, you should come. Or I could say, hey, if you attend my breakout session, you'll have the skills to recruit even the biggest skeptics into your business and build the kind of team that allows you to retire early, live large, and hang out with big shots like Fernie and Ray. Totally different message, right? Totally different impact. So here's how you can get started. These are real basic formulas. I help blank to blank. I help corporate executives to fire their boss, give up the commute, stay home, and make a great living. I help Gen Xers to make great money working part-time so they can pay off their college loans. I help this kind of prospect to get the results and benefits they want. And even taking it to that next level like we talked about, emphasizing the feelings, the experiences. What does this person really want? Slightly different formula here. I help blank to blank so they can blank. I help this kind of prospect to get the results and benefits they want so they can have these feelings, right? I help teachers to create a part-time income on the side so they can feel excited they no longer have to work and deal with all the BS and administration in the teaching profession. What's really important about this, if you really want to create amazing marketing messages that grab people's attention, especially online, two very important keys. These may not be brand new to you, but I want to emphasize them again because this is what I've seen make the difference between someone that makes a little bit of money online, someone who's absolutely crushing it. Is key number one, you have to know who your most ideal prospects are. And this is the most common mistake I found with people in network marketing and direct sales, because the truth is pretty much everybody could benefit from your business, right? When I talk to people all the time, I'm like, well, who's your prospect? And they say, well, everybody is. And the truth is, if you are trying to market to everybody, you will convert nobody. So I'm just curious, by a show of hands, how many of you here in the room actually have a good sense of who your target market is? Let's see a show of hands. Excellent. So you guys are on it. I find a lot of people don't. And it's important to really clue into that because your ideal prospect may be very different than yours, right? Depending on your product, depending on the kind of business that you're building, depending on who you have access to. This is really the key. And the second thing is, once you know who that target market is, to be able to understand that person so well, to profile them, right? Like in CSI, you know how they get into the brains of the criminals? It's like you want to be inside the head of your prospect. You want to know exactly what that person's biggest problem is, what is painful for them. You want to know what they want more than anything in life. What are the benefits? What are the results? What are the experiences? And most importantly, how do they want to feel? And I encourage you all as an exercise after this workshop to write that out, to take some time and profile your ideal prospects. Make sure you know every one of those things and then some. And if you're using that in your messages, you're going to find people respond very differently. And that's why I want to emphasize the power of this skill. I know there's so many great things you guys are learning here this weekend. I am a huge fan of the internet and technology. I built most of my business that way. I think that we are just in the infancy of what is possible with the internet. So I commend you all for being open-minded enough to learn these skills right now. But I want to tell you, too, that if you do not know who your ideal prospect is, or if you're going after the wrong ideal prospect, and if you don't have your message nailed, it's like having the wrong bait at the end of your hook. And honestly, it doesn't matter how much traffic is coming to your opt-in page. It doesn't matter how much traffic is coming to your website, because nobody's going to bite. And I know this through all the marketing that I've done over the years, because I know when I've nailed it, and sales are instant, the conversions are instant, and I know when I've missed, because nothing's happening. How many of you have had that experience? I'm just curious, by a show of hands. So you understand the importance of this, right? And when you get it, when you have the right market, the right message, as the saying goes, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You'll instantly find people start following you, you're going to have a lot more leads, the sales will come in, and obviously you're going to be able to make a lot more money.
For a free 10-day online recruiting bootcamp to dive deep into rejection-free sponsoring methods using the internet, click the link above or go directly to elitemarketingpro.com/go. I'll see you there.